Hello, this is Amanda with Crafting with Amanda. I really appreciate you stopping by. Just as a reminder, something that really can help small businesses and artists is if you subscribe to their page, like their posts, and leaving a comment is actually even more valuable as it gives Facebook and YouTube indicators that this is really a cool post. So this is the start. This is card number 9. We're going to go through the last 4 cards that came in the card subscription from Close to My Heart. And this is, like I said, card number 9. The blue house that you can see on the left card but not on the right card has disappeared. We are guessing that it fell through a 2-inch square hole that was in the floor of our bathroom. For those of you that this is your first time seeing me, we are in the midst of a huge chaotic remodel of a new house that we purchased, and we're over 7 months in, and with COVID and probably hiring the wrong project manager contract house, this is where we're at. But I had been moved out of my studio and I was filming creating these cards in the bedroom, and my husband went in to brush his teeth and knocked the cards off, and when everything was picked back up, we were missing one blue house. So that's where we're at right now. The sequins that I used were just the clear sequins from the set that came with the kit, and I just thought, you can't really see it, but it's a polka dot or a peach and white polka dot background on these cards, and I just kind of thought the clear would add a little bling without being a big distraction. So I filed off some of the chads that were on the die cuts around the houses that were bothering me. It probably wouldn't bother most people, but I figure it doesn't take me long to just file off those little edges. You can see I did some stamping. The one on the right, I was a little crooked. Next time I think I'll get my Misty, my stamp platform out and use that. But I'm trying to be true to the product that comes in the kit and only add the Cricut cuts and just a few tools so that anybody can get the same results. Anybody that purchases their subscription through me will actually receive all of the Cricut cuts. I will mail them to them, so they don't even have to cut themselves. But if you get your card subscription through another consultant, great, thank you for supporting them. I have a file linked with the Cricut cuts, and as long as you own the Flower Market cartridge, you can just cut those out, and you can, on this particular card, number 9, I didn't use any of those, but you'll see as we go ahead, I did use some of the Cricut cuts and the other cards. So this is just going to be a fun Christmas card. I'm going to do some sparkles, kind of moving from one corner to the other. Just helps to move your eye across the page. It's a little art trick. I haven't necessarily taken any art classes, but I know what's pleasing to my eye, and by watching other people's videos, I've learned the jargon. Here I'm just putting a little bit of glue down on my non-stick mat, and then I'll use my piercing tool to just get a little dot of glue. I have since purchased another bottle of the art glitter glue, and I have a small needle nose applicator bottle, so you might not see that trick anymore, but it's a great trick for when you're at the end of the bottle or your glue is clogged, the applicator is clogged. So that's card number 9 all done. Now we're going to move on to card number 10, and you can see in the photo that they had 2 big flowers, or it was on my tablet, but they sent these 2 little flowers with the die cuts. So I just used the stamp set where I'd been getting all my leaves, and it has these great, looks like poppy kind of flowers, so I just used the center, made perfect flowers. If you don't have a flower stamp that'll work like this, any background will work. I think I end up taking a leaf and doing some corner stamping with first and second generation stamping. There's another leaf if you look in the lower left hand corner well, the left-hand side of the screen, the lower right-hand corner of the stamp set, there's a smaller leaf there under the big flower, and I think that one might have worked better doing the first and second generation stamping, but I didn't see that at the time I was making these, and I was just trying to give you an idea. So I'm cutting out another scalloped edged image, and you can just do shading with the block. That's what I'm showing you there, and kind of inking up the corner to just do a little bit of inking in the center. You can also take a pencil with an eraser and put that in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with my flower image. I just really like how that works, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm showing that you don't have to use the center. You can use any part of any solid stamp or background image to give you this kind of different look. I'm going to take the yellow shimmer brush and color in some of the stamens of the flower. I don't know if I go back with the gold shimmer to give it a sparkle or not, but the yellow also has a glitter shimmer to it, so it all works well. This is one of the cards that I cut the base apart so that I could use it with the note card from Jeanette that came with the kit and make some bonus cards. And I really liked the wood background, so that's what was going on there. I apologize if you can hear any of the background noise happening in the house with school going on, and we're still kind of in a lockdown situation, so I have my door closed and my on-air sign up, but it's a very lively house right now because they put the flooring in, but we haven't brought in much furniture and don't have any curtains up, so everything is very live right now. Putting some pop dots on one of the die cut branches, I really like that, and then I'll just put the flowers right on top. Really like how that turned out. I don't know if you saw while I was talking about that I used the leaf stamp to do a second generation behind the brown die cut, and my screen just zoomed in there, so I was caught off guard. So here's some of the fern branches that come in the Cricut collection that I chose to use. And then I love this. I know I've said it before if you've watched any of my other videos. This plastic tray, this little circle that I have, was actually a protective covering for the new sink we have in our master bathroom. And I snagged it. It's perfect for dumping out these sequins, and because it's plastic and it's a soft plastic, so you dump them in, and then when you're done you just squeeze the sides and pour them right back into the bag. So I absolutely love this. So here I'm auditioning, trying to do a rotated card, a top fold long card versus a portrait. So portrait versus landscape, I guess, is probably a better description. And I'm using that leaf stamp with second generation to add some background flowers. And then we have the fern in there, not fern, palm branch, and that just gives a different look to the card. Kind of shakes things up a bit. Apologize for my hat being in place, but I'm trying to stamp a little straighter without my stamping platform. Add some sequins to the bottom, glue that on. I think I'm just dry embossing, or dry stylus embossing, I should say, the die cut there. It just gives it some shape, and then I'm adding some foam tape pieces from the shaker cards, the center of those shaker cards, or the shaker foam and acetate. I love those reverse tweezers. They really, there's an extra hand. I might put on my Christmas wish list for, like, I don't know, another set of 4 of those, because I would take advantage of more of them. And here I realized that I needed to trim down the card base because I had to add my own since I had stole some of the original card base. I really like when I stamp the envelopes, the inside, everything all at once. It just makes things so much nicer later. My cutter, I need a new blade, so that's why I was trimming off the side with scissors because it had made a jaggedy edge. You'll notice that I'm starting to cut from bottom to top on my other card bases that I'm adding to the kit because the one side of the cutting blade is dull. Here I'm just auditioning how I want to use some of the die cuts and also what stamps I want to use. I did cut one of the bases with this yellow gingham in half, so again I can use half of it for one of the bonus cards later on. Always in need of birthday cards, so here it is, making birthday cards. I really like this peach palm branch. I don't know why I'm having trouble finding the word for that on these cards, but I think it took away from the flowers because the flowers that came with the dies have those peach tones to them, and it was almost too distracting. So I went ahead with the white, and I love how that turns out on this card. Here I am just doing some stylus embossing to give some depth and make them look a little real. They're not just so flat. It's kind of like when you have flat hair and it's just laying against the side of your face versus when it has a little bit of body, it gives you a little perk. So I'm just stylus embossing to give my die cuts a little perk so they're just not laying flat. Funny analogy there, but that's what it is. I'm learning that if I figure out where I want to attach the palm branches or really any of the other leaf die cut from the Cricut and put it on the back side of things that I am pop dotting, it makes it a little easier to adhere more securely. So just arranging those flowers, two of the peach tones, and then one in the yellow, pulling out some of the white sequins, none of the blue, just white because there's none of the bluebell into this card. Just doing some kind of scattering of those. Again, working odd numbers, so there's 5 of them on this card. I really like how that card turned out. With the theme of doing both a portrait and a landscape card, this is where we're at. Using, again, the center of the star-shaped foam tape from the acetate and foam shaker outlines. Giving the palm branches some dimension here. Quick and easy cards, really. So, and then I only need to do the outside edges of that banner because it'll go across the center scallop circle that's already pop dotted, so I only need to support the ends that wouldn't be pop dotted. Taking off all the little pieces, and voila. I really like this card too. It's just fun, it's vibrant, it's colorful. This time of year, I know back in Michigan and in the Midwest, it's getting a little more colorful with fall colors, and here where we are, we're having 90 and 100 degree temperature days and bright sunlight, and with all the ash and smoke in the air, we're getting gorgeous red sunsets. Bad reason for getting red sunsets, but they are beautiful. So I'm cutting off some of the sides of this because I wanted to go ahead and have it be framed. I like that extra touch. It just adds one more layer of interest in the card. Since I had to put it on my own base, that's what I took advantage of. And then I took the pieces that I had cut off of the edges and just adding them on the inside again. Brings that color to the inside, and I'm not throwing away those pieces. Can kind of use them, bring interest, fill in the space. Make a wish, happy birthday, make a wish, all good general sentiments. And just different ways to think outside the box for using your scraps. These cards are going to be done any moment now. Nothing too extraordinary or new in this, just some different ideas on the cards. I'm hearing movement in the kitchen and it's distracting me. I apologize. I'm guessing that my 6th grader is trying to decide what's going to be for lunch, and we did move My husband did install our new refrigerator, so we have that installed, and I moved everything over into it, so that's been kind of nice. And I've also set up some of our food in the pantry and in the snack drawers, but I don't have everything set up because we don't have all of our drawer fronts on and countertops in. So this is card number 12, I believe. Yes, this must be card number 12. And I am taking off the chads with the little emery board. Just, I like that cleaner look better. And it's just one thing that as I'm looking at the pieces and holding them, playing with them, deciding what I want to do with this card, it gives me a mindless activity as I'm looking. I remember as I was creating this card thinking, oh, I don't like the green and yellow on both cards, and I think I kind of want one that's more tone on tone. All right, I'm going to take all of the yellow and green off of one card and give it to the other card and make this just all shades of blue. So now I'm stamping with first and second generation, the little mini star that came in the kit, and I'm going to add some more blue bell. Oh, maybe I'm making this more feminine. It's pink and blues, that's it. So that I can have multiple, not just, masculine, because I tend to send more birthday wishes to women than boys. And I jumped over to that second card for some reason. I apologize for that. And I like how this layering, kind of the banner layering, giving some depth to those star banners and interest and fun, and using up the cuts that were sent in the design. So win-win there. Going back to the kitchen, I'm definitely hearing more noises out there, so that's kind of fun. I wonder what he decided will be for lunch. I know I have some grapes and some packets, and I have some chips that are all bundled for kind of some quick and go additions to meals. He used up his extra. There was some chicken tender that was left from a meal we had out over the weekend. We just order in. We don't actually go out yet, but that's where we're at in 2020. So here, for those of you that haven't seen a shaker card, this is a foam double-sided adhesive that you just put on top of the square that's on the card, but you don't have to have a square on the card if you're just making these. Fill with some sequins, fill with those silver stars from the last Craft with Heart kit. There is a plastic coating that covers the acetate for the shaker cards, so you just put that in, and I just peeled off the acetate from the top, and then I will put the cover on the top of this. I find that the green lidded Tombow glue seems to work better than the blue lidded Tombow glue for adhering paper onto acetate. Otherwise, the blue one seems to fall off later. So, but paper to paper, the blue one is great. I actually prefer that. So here we have blue and yellow. I'm just sprinkling a little of the silver stars on, and where they fell, for the most part, I'm just gonna glue them on. Maybe edit a few, but for the most part, this is just where they're gonna go. And I think you'll see this trick of putting the glue on my craft mat again. Oh no, I'm just going for it, just with the green lidded glue. The green lidded glue, even when it dries to a tacky finish, and I think that's what makes it better for adhering the paper to the acetate, that it still has a tacky finish even when it's dry, where the other tends to have a non-tacky finish. So now I'm just using the centers of the die cuts to layer in some fun on the inside instead of a stamp. I really like these cards. You can follow me here, and I really appreciate you stopping by. Have a great day.